Hello everyone, Fights with Friends. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy March Madness. I'm ready to put some brackets together. Guys, I'm so excited. This is one of the most exciting times of year for me for sports. A lot of times, like I've said in the past, I take 1 week's vacation just to watch all of the upsets and all of the madness that is March NCAA Tournament. I mean, the name really fits it. Coach K had a great thing to say about it earlier of Duke, and I'll play that a little here in a few minutes as people are coming in. But how's everybody doing? Looks like we just got a few people coming in, probably getting an ad as you're starting. I'll continue to put a link up, though. I have a link for the NCAA stream. What's up? I'm doing good, man. What's going on? How's it going, Patrick Sullivan? So this is the March Madness Live selection show. We're going to go through the selection show together and see, you know, who's going to play who, and then all get our brackets together so we're all ready when the tournament starts on the 19th to play. I'm going to put a link up right now for those of you that don't have cable or whatever. If you want to also watch this live, I'm going to put the link up, and you guys will be able to go.
Your favorite local channels.
You guys will be able to go straight to a stream. Lona, I hope, wins. All right. So, if you don't have cable or you don't want to open up another YouTube browser or whatever. So, what's up, Robert Kerrigan in the house? Everybody ready for this one? Billy will be calling in here any minute. I was just talking to him on Skype a minute ago. So, he's got some basketball trivia for everyone, and this show started. I have, you know, at bracketchallengencaa.com, I already have the bracket set up for us. It's just under Fights with Friends. I see Billy's already got his team in here. You can't pick your bracket yet, of course, because that's what we're waiting on. Is to get the picks. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to start watching this, and it looks like that the show is on right now.
Oh, Chuck, what is that?
He's my bracket buddy.
It's a parrot.
I know it's a parrot, Sam. His name is Larry Bird.
So, looks like we get a little commercial for that, too, right? But commercials
Bird.
For everything.
Not you, Larry Bird.
Yes, we hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I know it's a little different. Usually everybody are fight fans, but I mean, basketball, it's one of these things, March Madness. I don't watch basketball much all year long. I don't want to watch the NBA
as a #1 seed. So the #1 seed overall.
But I'll tell you what, guys,
now,
this time of year,
first and second round games in Columbia,
I
South
definitely
Carolina
watch basketball. So Duke is the #1 seed.
Duke will play
if you're not
the
watching
winner
right
of the
now.
first 4 game in
They're
on
in.
Wednesday
They will
between
play
North
against
Carolina
North Carolina
Eagles
Central
out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference and North Dakota State.
The winner
Bison
of North
out
Carolina
of the Summit
Central,
League.
North Dakota
The winner
State.
of that game will be the 16th seed going against Duke. Moving
And
on
there
down,
is
the number
Billy
8 seed in the
calling in
East
here.
out of the
Let's see if it
Atlantic
actually
10,
lets
the
me
Rams of VCU. They won their first outright Atlantic 10 regular
answer on
season
my
championship.
computer, as it has
They
not
will
been.
play
Just a second, Billy. I might
University
have
of
to
Central
call you
Florida
back.
Knights out of the
For
American
whatever
Athletic
reason, it's
Conference.
only
They returned to the
ringing,
NCAA tournament for the first
on
time
my
since
phone.
2005. Now, these games to be played first and second round in San Jose on Friday and Sunday. The 5th seed in the East region, the Bulldogs.
All right, I will call you right back on the Skype here, and hopefully we'll have that. That'll be good. What's up? Thank you for the generous donation, Archangel Azrael. You are the man. Thank you very much, sir. Does anybody else usually watch this every year? What's up, Billy? How's it going?
Can you hear me, man?
I can hear you. You're possibly maybe a little low, but that doesn't mean anything because all that matters is how you sound to everybody else out there. So let me know how Billy's sound is. What's going on?
You guys
You're watching.
hear me?
What's that?
I'm just saying if they can hear me.
All right. Well, we'll just start talking, and they can let us know how the audio is, I guess. Then you were watching some games earlier, you said, on CBS.
Right.
And
It was the Michigan State-Michigan game. Michigan was dominating pretty much, I'd say, 3/4 of the game. But Michigan State came back and took it with about 2 minutes to go.
Oh, wow. See, yeah, that's the exciting things about this. And you see Belmont, they're showing Belmont in the back, and
Yeah, they got
celebrating.
in. That's the first one.
Yep, yeah, they're celebrating in the back. They got the number 11 seed. Oh, it's they'll be going
It's a
against
playing game.
number 6 Maryland. What's that?
Belmont's in a play-in with Temple.
Yeah, so that's the so can you explain, is that the 4-team things? The 4 teams
So,
that play before?
There's 8 teams in all that have to play their way in. There's 4 what you'd call small schools that compete to be 2 16 seeds. And there's 4 teams that compete to be 11 seeds. Those 4 teams will be like the last 4 that were accepted in. And so they will play Tuesday and Wednesday night. There will be 4 winners out of those 4 particular games. And it's a disadvantage for being the last team in, but it's a way for games to start early in the week, bring more ratings in, and that's why they expanded from 64 to 68.
Yeah, I thought that was rather interesting. It does seem to confuse some people, especially as they're starting to get into this. I'm going to bring this up here. They're showing the Michigan State Spartans.
They're not cutting Duke any slack.
Yeah, there you go. You got number 6, Maryland playing the winner of Belmont Temple. Number 3, LSU versus Yale 14. Number 7, Louisville versus number 10, Minnesota. And then we're about to see who number 2, Michigan State is playing. And they're going to play number 15, Bradley, in 2014. Is that about where you expected to see Michigan State be seated?
Well, actually, it came down to Michigan State and Gonzaga for the last number 1 seed. And so that seeing Michigan State on the 2 line should make you happy because I think that makes Gonzaga the last number 1.
That makes me very happy. Shout out to Billy. Good stuff, playa, said Mario. And thank you, Scott. Scott said audio is fine for both of us. So sweet. That's always good to not have to stress out about that. And here's the East region. Are you watching this same as me?
Yeah. Did you notice that the bracket challenge you did was the CBS one?
I noticed it was the NCAA one. It was just the one that came up, like, on my app. Is there I guess that's the only one that I found. I think that's the one I've done in the past. Or I think I was gonna
I've always done the ESPN one.
Actually, I think I did do the ESPN one before. But I guess it'll be different. I had an option to play two different kinds.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand the other kind, so I just went with what I knew. Yeah, it'll be fun for you guys that are watching and that are new to it. You see these seeds. So you have number 14 playing against number 3. That's one bracket. And you're going to pick whatever team you think is going to win out of that. As the tournament progresses, games will be worth more as you go into the Sweet 16, the Grade 8, the Final 4. And there's been so many incredible incredible moments in this tournament over the years. I don't know much about college basketball. Is Illinois any good? That's a question for Billy. Is Illinois good this year?
No, but they're getting better. They went through a lot of coaching changes over the last 10 years, and they're starting to turn the corner. So give them a couple years. Let them players get older.
All right, so they're not in there. They're not in there this year. I kind of wanted to play it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to play the volume. But did you hear kind of the inspirational March Madness speech earlier from Coach K?
No, I didn't.
I don't know if you heard it. I thought it was, I really liked it. I thought it was inspirational. Some people talked about doing things and changing the tournament, different things that you might do. And I mean, he almost sounded like a politician, but it was great. He said there's a lot, he says there's very little that unite us in life. And he said, he said politics doesn't unite us. War doesn't unite us. He says, hunger, poverty don't unite us. Even cancer doesn't unite us. But for 1 month in the country, in the nation, so many people are united for something that, is not as serious as those things. But it does. It unites a ton of people. Everybody's watching at the same time. I know so many people that don't watch sports all year round. And then when this comes around, it's like, man, everybody's on good terms. Nobody's arguing about politics. That's just been my experience.
I completely agree. I mean, you don't even have to watch basketball to pick this. People pick on even the uniforms. If they like the uniform better, they'll go with them. And honestly, the people that usually win are the ones that don't know the most. And to answer Nate's question, Oklahoma is definitely going to be in.
Nice. Ramp the Ramper says, I got Kentucky all the way. Well, that will make my my nephew happy. He's a huge Kentucky fan. My young nephew that's only, I think he's like 11 now. I don't remember exactly. I know I should, but.
Now, Ohio State's a different question. Ohio State was in, but with Oregon beating Washington last night, someone had to be bumped. And with Belmont already getting in and as an at-large, it's nervous time for Ohio State. They're definitely biting their nails.
Yeah, how many teams are on the bubble right now?
I'd say it's about 12 for about 6 of the spots. So,
okay.
And Oregon took one, so.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I didn't. Did you expect Oregon to come out? I mean, I know they're hot, but to come out and win that entire thing, the entire tournament, that was crazy.
I'm out here in Colorado, so I was following my Colorado Buffaloes. So I saw the Pac-12 pretty close. Colorado and Oregon were the two hot teams, so Oregon definitely didn't surprise nobody.
They pretty much needed to win that entire tournament. Most people thought to get in though.
Oh yeah, no doubt they had to.
Ramper says, yes, Kentucky could have won 2 more national championships since 2012. Nate says it is stupid to pick Duke to win it all. They have the big stars, but their bench isn't the best. And, the biggest guy, the biggest name in here, I think you probably wouldn't argue with that, Zion Edmondson. A lot of people don't realize he's a rookie. I mean, how crazy
Zion Williamson,
is that?
yeah, he's getting the #1 pick for sure.
Or, excuse me, he's a freshman, but he's a freshman. See, he's 1
Yep.
year out of high school. He's like 19 years old.
Duke's whole starting 5 is freshmen.
Wow, that is crazy. All right, and you see Gardner Webb celebrating in the back. They got the 16th seed. I'm gonna go back over to the display capture since we get that. Someone was asking if I'm watching it. Yes. There's some things coming up over my screen for some reason.
There's Oregon.
So sorry. There we go. And we'll go back. Let me know if you guys should be able to see that now. Ole Miss and Oklahoma, the 9-8 seeds. Those are always so fun to watch, those games, because they're almost always just buzzer-beating, nail-biting games. And number 5, Wisconsin. They were 23-10. So you can see these are all the teams that we're playing on Friday. They'll have some times up. Hey, have they called Auburn, says Adam. I didn't see Auburn yet.
Auburn won the SEC this morning.
So they'll definitely be in. And Oregon gets the number 12 seed winning the tournament going against number 5, Wisconsin. I think that's a good chance for an upset. Oregon's really hot right now. 5-12 is the
most common upset in the tournament.
You said the number 12 is the most common upset?
Yeah, it's something like 65% of the time that a 12 will beat a 5.
Really? That's crazy. Because I know, I love the 8 and 9 games. I mean, I love all of it, but like the 8 and 9 games, it's kind of like, I mean, that's a pick. I seem to remember a lot of 12-5s, but I didn't realize that stat. Yeah. You can see our number 4, Kansas State, playing against number 13, UC Irvine. These will all be on Friday. Oh, sorry.
To answer
Zion
Nate's
Evans.
question real fast.
Sure, go ahead. Oh.
North Carolina. North Carolina is very senior-led. They're the most dangerous team in this tournament because they have the seniors. So look out for North Carolina and look out for Virginia. They have upperclassmen, as well as Tennessee. Those 3 teams are the most veteran teams.
Yeah, that definitely can make a lot of difference. You don't have guys, making mistakes like Chris Webber's famous timeout. No, I actually feel very bad for him, even though it's one of the most memorable moments in the entire history. And there's St. Mary's. They upset Gonzaga in their tournament. They get seeded number 11 against number 6 Villanova. I don't know how far St. Mary's is going to go, but I think a lot of people are definitely sleeping on them or really almost have no idea who they are. What top team most veteran lead? Oh, I think you just answered that. Yeah, okay.
Should we do some trivia at the end of this bracket?
Yeah, go ahead and call it some trivia at the end of this bracket. Go ahead and feel free. If you want to talk about the names that are coming up right now, go ahead and take over this bracket and then throw a trivia question out there.
All right. I do see St. Mary's beating Villanova. Villanova's rebuilding. They're lucky to have such a high seed. St. Mary's is dangerous. That could be an upset. I disagree with Cincinnati being a 7. I think they're way better than that seed. And as you guys will see in a second, they're playing Iowa. Cincinnati should take that. And then you have Tennessee there, so another stacked bracket.
Oh, Tennessee has. Oh, there we go. Tennessee. It looks like I'm just a few seconds
You're about
behind you. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and Tennessee is excited. It's fun to see these guys celebrate too, because it's like, especially like you were talking about the seniors.
Yeah, they get all the families out there and everything. It's a celebration.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for the seniors, like you were talking about. I mean, that's it. That's going to be how their careers remembered.
Tennessee has 2 seniors that are going to be top first-round draft picks, Schofield and Williams. I would actually see Tennessee coming out of this bracket.
And they are the number 2 seed. So yeah, that's definitely could happen. And there you go. There's the rest of the bracket there.
Fun fact, Colgate hasn't been to the tournament in 20-some years, I believe.
I seen that. I seen they were talking about that, how long it had been since they got there. That's such a celebration for that entire town. For people that don't know, it's like, I mean, I know, Spokane, growing up in Eastern Washington, if you go to Spokane right now, you might literally see 90% of the people wearing Gonzaga gear, like right now until they're out. I mean, it's that big a deal.
Gonzaga's searching for a new conference so they can play better teams.
Yeah, I almost kind of have to wonder why, though, because they're kind of in a lower conference and they keep getting those high seeds anyway. So it's like, I don't know.
All right, guys, we're done with the South bracket. That's number 2. So I'm going to throw out the first trivia question of the night, if that's okay with you, Mike.
All right, go for it.
This NBA MVP went to Davidson University and pulled off a buzzer beater while he was in March Madness. Name this player.
Go ahead and repeat that one more time, because there was a lot on that question.
Ryan Andrews, you are correct, sir.
Oh, he already got it. Somebody already got it. Never mind. I could barely... Oh, you guys are all over it. What's up, Brian Andrews? 7. Nice to see some new faces in here. We're going to be doing the entire March Madness. Well, not every game, but as much as I can. We're going to be doing a lot of the games. We're also doing on the CBS NCAA bracket. We'll all be competing against each other, picking brackets. So I'm Micah Fights.
It'd be a good time to throw that link up, Mike. Brackets.
Yeah, I'm going to get that link up right now. Here we go.
While you do that, I'm going to throw out a second trivia question if you're okay with that.
All right, go for it.
This NCAA Hall of Famer is most known for his last-second shot in the Final Four game against Kentucky to win the game. Name this player. To God 23, you are correct. It was Christian Laettner. Broke the Wildcats' heart.
And there are still people that hate him. That hate Christian Laettner. I've never gotten the amount of hate that guy has gotten over his career was insane. And
they made it a 30 for 30 called "I Hate Christian Laettner."
Yeah, that is incredible. So, yeah, definitely. I hope you guys get on there, sign up for this bracket. Of course, you're not going to be able to pick yet until all the teams are done here. And Fights with Friends, we do a lot of sports. I did the NFL playoffs this year. Why it's called Fights with Friends is I do basically every UFC, Bellator, major boxing events. Yesterday we did the UFC. And the Mikey Garcia, and now the name's slipping. I don't know why I can't think of his name, but the major boxing match that was on yesterday. So if you want a good, positive community to be involved in that is really into sports, I'd appreciate you subscribing and hit that like button, and we'll do our best to make a great community for you to hang out in. And happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Yes, indeed. All right, we have a longer commercial break here, so I'll throw in one more trivia question for you guys. We have a tie at the moment. Name the last team that Duke beat to win their national championship. The most recent national championship won by Duke. Who did they defeat? Ryan C., you got it. The Badgers of Wisconsin, led by Frank Kaminsky. You are correct, sir.
Nice. We got some knowledgeable basketball people in here today.
Big time. I thought this was going to take longer.
Yeah.
But they're on it.
Yes, they are. That's very good. All right, looks like they're back to the selection show here.
Moving to the Midwest region, led by North Carolina.
All right.
So that's 3 ACC teams with #1 seeds. That's not usual.
Should have been in the champion that year. 38-1. That's right. Somebody's asking if Kentucky, I'm sorry, I missed that earlier, was chosen yet. They have not.
No, they have not.
And Ben McGrath is asking you, I think you answered how North Carolina State will make it. I'm repeating, sorry.
If North Carolina or North Carolina State would make it.
Or maybe it was, I thought it was North Carolina, and there you go. North Carolina's #1. I think how they were going to do. And Iona, number 16. So I think that's a pretty good matchup.
Right after it.
What was that?
Your team's about to come up. Well, one of your teams. I don't know how you feel about this team, actually.
I'm pretty much a Gonzaga fan, but if they're out, I mean, Washington would, be good for Washington to do good, also because that's actually the local team of where I'm living in now. And there you go, number 9.
Yep. Tough sledding though. If they beat the first round, they got to play North Carolina.
Yeah, that's going to be a torrid route to the championship. What's up, Sarah Zyman? Which UFC is this? Saren's a troll. Saren's been talking about this all week. Tell me why I shouldn't be doing this, because I should be spending Sunday with my kids, which I went out to lunch with them very much. So thank you very much.
We actually got pretty good viewers. I'm surprised. It's not too bad. It's better than the football ones.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think this really does unite people. Number 5 Auburn against number 12 New Mexico State. You've been watching more of this. You have any feelings about these games right now for this bracket?
I think Auburn's going to win, although it's the 5-12 matchup, but Auburn just won the SEC. I think they're a little lower rated. I think they're more like a 4 than a 5. And there you go, Kansas. So, all in all, North Carolina is going to come out of the top here. But there are some good games. I like the Utah State-Washington game a lot. That's going to be up and down. Washington is a high explosive team that plays really good defense. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be in those number, those 8-9 matchups are always magic. Like I was saying, they're always great. Number 6 Iowa State. I am cheering for Wofford in the bracket, says Ryan. How you doing, Ryan? What's up, Michael Paul in the house?
Like that. And I'm sorry if I'm talking over you, Mike. You have a little bit of a lag on me. So.
No problem. Yeah, I'm noticing when I'm talking that I'm going over you too. So it's. I think we're doing a pretty good job, especially since this is the first time we've streamed together.
Oh, someone was asking about Ohio State. They did get in, and they weren't even on the bubble. So the community liked them a lot because they don't even have to play their way in.
Nice. Well, that's that. I mean, that's really
good.
That
eliminates NC State, though.
Yeah. Do you have a team? Do you have a favorite team coming into this?
Duke.
All right.
I'm a Colorado Buffaloes fan, but we didn't make the tournament.
Someone was updating me that I said the wrong name for Zion, so sorry about that. I called him Zion Williamson, and there's Wofford. So somebody in there, I think, was asking about Wofford, and there they are, number 7 seed.
They may be the highest rated mid-major. That's a high seed for a mid-major.
Well, 29-4, that's a good record.
There's Kentucky. Everyone's been asking about Kentucky. They put them with North Carolina. That's a dream matchup. If we can get North Carolina and Kentucky, fireworks.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like mine fell behind just a second here for... I think it might actually froze for a second. That was weird.
You look frozen, yeah.
So maybe it'll be up to date now. Yeah, they're going to give me a nice little ad here. So go ahead and feel free to update everybody.
Wofford is playing Seton Hall, and then you have Kentucky's the 2 seed below that. So all in all, I see North Carolina, Kentucky meeting in the Elite 8. And at that point, may the best man win. 2 electric teams. And I see either one of those going to the Final Four out of that Midwest region.
Kentucky's one of those teams. It seems like they're always built kind of similarly, like just like speed and hustle and really good, suffocating defense. It seems like that's what they've built their program around. Really fun team to watch. Is Baylor in, says Alex? I didn't see Baylor yet.
Baylor will be in, yes. They will be in this last bracket. So they will be with Gonzaga. We're waiting on Gonzaga. And it looks like Gonzaga will be the 1. And just by my calculations, Michigan will be the 2 in the Gonzaga region.
All right, and there's one more bracket. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us today. There's Gonzaga waiting. Yeah, there's Michigan. It's Tennessee, and you got some cheering and clapping here.
And they're saving the drama because we have one more playing game to announce, and they're going to save it for the last bracket. So there's 2 bubble teams waiting to hear their name.
Oh man, those, especially those seniors, are really holding their breath. I mean, that could be a huge difference. I mean, it could be the difference between maybe making the NBA or not. Also,
the 4 teams I believe that are at risk for there's 2 spots left, and there's 4 teams there. It would be St. John's, TCU, North Carolina State, and I'm blanking on the last one. And I believe Indiana might be the last one. One of those, 2 of those 4 teams will go. 2 of them will not.
All right, 80 people up in here. Thank you guys for coming to Fights with Friends to watch this Selection Sunday. Probably a lot of places you could have chosen. But thank you. If you could please hit that thumbs up button, I would appreciate it. And if you could hit that subscribe button if you're new here, we'll do our best to keep you informed throughout the NCAA tournament and follow the games together. Hope you join us. What's up, Dean Hamper? How you doing? Dean Hamper was the donation all-star last night, dropping the big bucks. If you go Purdue, says Nowiowski, placed 3rd on ESPN last year. Really, Matt Wagner, that is a very impressive stir. All right, if you guys don't have anywhere really to watch the game at this point, I've gotten a great deal with Sling. I had DirecTV. Before that, they just raised their prices on that. And sorry, I know you can see everything I'm doing right now, but it makes it easier to keep the bracket up for you guys. But Sling TV has got a hell of a deal for us right now. With this code, you're literally going to get $10 a month, 25 channels, ESPN 1, 2, N3. That's crazy. That they're doing that for us, and thank you to Sling for doing that for us for 3 months. After that, it's going to be $25 a month. I think that's the cheapest deal out there right now, honestly. So, all right. Hopefully, let's get back to some March Madness. They finish up the commercials here. You got another trivia question for us?
Yeah.
All right, shoot.
Name the coach that was just recently fired from the University of Louisville amid the sneaker scandal run by donors. Who was fired as the head coach from Louisville? Scott F. Rick Pitino.
All right, great
You are
job.
correct. We have a 4-way tie.
Wow, much more competitive without Billy the Timebender playing here.
I kind of like being on the asking end here.
All right, and Gonzaga's jumping up.
Number 1 seed.
Beautiful.
And they'll be playing a playing game, Fairleigh Dickinson and Prairie View A&M.
All right, yeah, Gonzaga 30-3. That loss, unfortunately, the one loss to St. Mary's, I thought that might knock them down. Their record was good enough for them to make it to the number 1 seed still, though.
There was a question about Baylor earlier. You're about to see them on Mike's screen here. Baylor is in. They will be playing Syracuse on Thursday. 8-9 matchup.
Yes, 20-13 Syracuse. Yeah, someone was asking about Syracuse too. Yeah, that's a great matchup. I haven't followed Syracuse a whole lot. I just got to admit, I like that orange that most people think's ugly. I like bright colors.
One of the star players on Syracuse is Jim Boeheim, the coach's son, Buddy Boeheim.
Was there a little drama around them this season? I thought I heard something about a little stir-up.
Unfortunately, driving home from a game a couple weeks ago, Boeheim hit a pedestrian and the pedestrian lost his life, but Boeheim was not at fault.
Oh, wow. Okay, no, that's not the controversy I was thinking of. Maybe I was thinking of something else. That's horrible, though.
Murray State has the number 3 pick in the draft, J.A. Morant. He is a superstar. I picked them to take out Marquette. Marquette has been struggling. Murray State, watch out.
And Florida State, another constant that's, seems like they're in there almost every year.
Florida State took Duke to the wire in the ACC title game, so you got to watch out for them as well. Gonzaga's got a pretty dangerous bracket. They got some sleepers out there.
Yeah, they definitely do. Florida State, number 4, Florida State will be playing number 13, Vermont. Do you see any upsets happening in this bracket?
Murray State over Marquette is the one that sticks out. Oh, I'm a little ahead of you. I just saw the last 2 at-larges to get in.
Oh, I just seen Buffalo get announced. Yeah.
Arizona State and St. John's, the last 2 teams to get in the tournament. They'll be playing on either Tuesday or Wednesday. So that means St. John's, Arizona State, Belmont, and Temple were the last 4 teams to make the tournament. That means NC State's out, Texas is out, TCU is out, Indiana is out.
All right. Well, this Tuesday, if you go to Fights with Friends, if you're looking to talk any basketball or trivia or anything, I'm pretty much going to be streaming like the entire day. If there's a game on, I'll probably basically be streaming for like 12 hours. But that's the 4 teams playing on Tuesday, right?
They'll have one of the 16 play-ins and one of the 11 play-ins, and then the next day on Wednesday will be the other 4 teams.
Okay, so it'll just be the one game. Maybe
so Arizona State and St. John's will be on Wednesday. Temple and Belmont will be on Tuesday.
Nice, and we see Arizona State playing St. John's. What for an 11 seed? What is the deal with that? Why are they playing for an 11 seed?
Because they're the last 4 at-larges to make it. So they set this up about 2 years ago, where there's 4 16 seeds that play each other, and then the last 4 at-larges play each other.
Okay, that's why it's such a high seed and they're playing against each other. And there's a reaction from Michigan.
Nevada, Florida. That's a good one.
Happy team there, number 2, Michigan. Yeah, Nevada, Florida, that should be an exciting game for sure.
Montana versus Michigan.
So Thursday, we're going to have to look at the time on that. Gonzaga and Dickinson. I can't miss that one. I might have to call in sick to work if they have me working a few hours during that.
I wonder how many people are calling sick on this week.
Oh, it's got to be off the charts.
They're now about to show you the last 4 teams to get in with their records, and the net ranking is the computer ranking the top teams in the nation, just so everyone understands what they're about to see on the screen.
All right. Thank you for explaining all that. I appreciate it. You know more about this than I do. I'm just a fan.
I have no life. I will admit it. And according to the tournament host, the last 4 teams that were up to make the tournament that did not get in were UNC Greensboro, Alabama, TCU, and Indiana. So these are the 4 that got in right here, and then the next 4 were the 4 that almost got in, but unfortunately did not make it.
Oh wow, that's horrible. Somebody was asking about Texas.
Yeah, it looks like Texas wasn't even close because they weren't even in the last 4 to not get in.
Yeah, I didn't see them. Yeah, we got Man, UNC, Greensboro, Alabama, TCU, and Indiana. I don't even think I'd want you to put my picture, the picture up there if I was that close. And they're like, oh, yeah, almost made it.
Right. UNC Greensboro, 28-6. That's got to sting.
Yeah.
But then you have Indiana, 17-15. You can't expect to get in barely over 500.
Yeah, no, definitely not at this time of year. Yeah, when there's so much competition out there. I mean, and I know to a lot of people it probably sounds like, 64 teams. Oh, that's a lot of slots. But I mean, you're talking about what? Well over 1,000 colleges that have. I mean, maybe I'm overshooting it. Do you have any idea how many colleges are eligible for seeds in this? They all have to be Division I.
Yeah, I think there's like 300 teams in Division I, right?
Okay, I'm not sure.
A lot more than football.
Scott,
there's a conference breakdown. Big Ten gets the most.
All right, yeah, 7. Scott says TCU is much better than Ohio State and Washington, in my opinion. You have any opinion on that? I haven't followed them real.
Washington was the regular season Pac-12 champion, so I disagree with Washington. Ohio State I could see, but TCU, I think they went like 2-8 in their last 10 games, and they went from being comfortably into the tournament to it looks like they might have been the team that Oregon knocked out.
Oh, wow, yeah, and like I said, what an amazing story. I don't know if anybody's from Oregon, but, I mean, to have your back to the wall, you're playing hot, but you have to win an entire tournament just to get in. I mean, I got to think that there's so many things in play right there. I mean, the first of all, obviously I'm sure they're very tired going into a tournament, all that adrenaline, all that energy, but also all that momentum. Do you think maybe that's a positive going into the tournament?
The momentum's a positive, but at this point, it's all about who you're put up against, and also taking advantage where you're playing. So Gonzaga, for instance, will be playing their first and second round games in Utah. They're the only team west of the Mississippi that is a top 15 team, so they're going to get the best places to play. So it'll be to an advantage for Gonzaga compared to the teams that are in their bracket.
All right, we'll switch over to that. Yeah, I'm just hoping Gonzaga does well. I follow Gonzaga. I followed Washington a little bit this year. Oregon some towards the end. I was following Duke. A lot of it just because I'm so impressed with Zion. He's almost like otherworldly at 18, 19 years old. How old is he? Come back in that game the other day, 13 for 13, 14 rebounds. Do you think he's the number one? You think he's the number one seed undoubtedly?
Oh, yeah, he's the number one pick. His teammate, R.J. Barrett, will be number 2. And then the kid from Murray State, J.A. Morant, will be number 3. They're kind of consensus that they're going to be the top 3 in the upcoming NBA draft.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It's like, and I mean, I hate to think this way, but I kind of was thinking a little bit. It's like, man, I know he's going to play 100%. I would never doubt him. But it's like you go into this tournament, you're about to sign a contract for, hundreds of millions of dollars. God forbid there was, you had some kind of injury when all these guys, are playing their heart out. That's a lot of money on the line. Unfortunately, it's kind of like, and I would never accuse him of thinking like this, but it's like it would almost be more profitable to sometimes to maybe not take that dive for the ball.
Is there a way for you to pull up all the whole bracket on your screen now that it's been announced? Is there any way for you to find that?
Yeah, give me just a second. I should be able to. Was somebody asking for it? I wasn't watching. It'd be
Well, I
good
was going
just
to answer
bring
the
that.
toughest bracket, and it's going to be the Duke bracket because it's Duke, Michigan State, LSU, and Virginia Tech are your top 4 seeds. They have the toughest road to get out if you're just going off the teams in that particular bracket. And I think second would be the North Carolina bracket, just because Kentucky is sitting there and they're super dangerous.
Wow, I think they do have. I think somebody's got the entire. Oh no, that's 2018. I was gonna say that would be very quick to have that up. Virginia. Oh yeah, because this is last year's. They got Gonzaga to number 4. So yeah, if anybody has a link to the entire bracket, I'm just kind of searching for one.
While you're searching for that, I could throw out 2 more trivia questions for the folks.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I'm going to give everyone a chance to hit the refresh button so everyone's available, so I'll give you a 15-second wait. All right, this controversial NBA player went to the University of Kentucky and led them to the Final Four. His nickname is the Unibrow.
The Unibrow, huh? That's a great name.
Ramp the Ramper, Anthony Davis. 5-way tie. And we'll throw out another one here. And this one's for anyone over the age of 35. What college did Hall of Famer Charles Barkley go to? Donald Watford, Auburn, you're correct. Mike, will you double check on see who's first? We're having the thing where people are saying they answered first.
Oh,
and I don't have
okay.
a timestamp on mine.
Okay, I have
So
a
see who
timestamp.
said Anthony Davis first and who said Auburn first.
Okay, let's see who said Auburn first. I have Donald Watford. That's because 4 people were all just a few seconds apart. But Donald Watford, Ron Ladd, No Name, and Scott F. also were just a few seconds behind them.
And then Anthony Davis, who was first on that one.
Let me look up Anthony Davis. So the first one I see, 345. It is Ramp the Ramper.
That's who I had as well.
Yeah, sometimes... oh, go ahead.
No, you're going to say what I was going to say. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say sometimes when you're on there, it will make it look like you answered first, and then when you go to update, it'll come back usually within the time. But sometimes it just comes down to a quicker connection or whatever it is. But everybody else on the stream should see it the same. Should see it in the order. Okay,
I can throw out another one since we have a 6-way tie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And this one's for you, Mike. Name the Gonzaga head coach.
All right. Well, I won't answer over everybody. I'll let them break this tie, but...
I have it as Scott F's first with Mark Few. That is correct. And that puts Scott F in the lead. Someone has broken through.
Nice. Yeah, he's been coach there for, wow, a long time. I got to say, it's got to be like 20 years. So it's been a long time. And I got a picture of the bracket. I am bringing it up right now. So just take a second, I think, for somebody to get it online. And let's see. Oh, it's hopefully everybody can read it. It's a little small, but this is the one that was out there, the first one that came up. This was from the actual final NCAA Final Four Commission, or whatever they call themselves. So let me know if you guys can't read it. I'll try to find something else in there. It's pretty small, but out of the number one seeds,
very small.
Easy, huh? They're the top number one seed. Is that your favorite to win the whole thing?
Duke?
Would you say it's Duke would be the favorite, or just your favorite?
Actually, I think the favorite's North Carolina because of their seniors.
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
And with Duke only having no bench, they can get cut off pretty quick.
Yeah, Duke. I mean, as many good players as we were talking about that they have. Like you said, their best player, I mean, is a freshman, and there's things that, as you know, you just learn year after year in any sport, not, just basketball.
If I had to pick a 3 seed and below that could win the tournament, I'd probably go with Florida State, which is a 4. And I'm a big fan of that Houston team. I know they lost to Cincinnati this afternoon, but if there's going to be someone that's not a 1 or a 2 that can make a run, I'd pick Houston or Florida State.
That's interesting that you bring that up, a team that just lost. And I was thinking about that with Gonzaga, because people automatically say, oh, it's better to lose now than to lose down the road. And, you hear that over and over again, but I think there is some psychology to that. I think you win so many games, and I think just like in any other sport, you start to believe your own hype. Everything's starting to come so easy. You're like, oh, we're just going to walk over these guys. And then right before the tournament, maybe you get brought back down to earth. It motivates you. It makes you hungry, maybe a little angry again.
You got to think 80 to 90% of these teams in the tournament, only 32 of them won their conference tournament. So the other half are coming off a loss. So I don't take too much stock in them losing their last matchup. Now, if they're on like a 5 or 6 game losing streak coming in, that's something completely different.
Yeah, definitely. That is true. And I wonder, I mean, I'm sure teams are playing their 100%, but it's like you have a team, just because I think it's a good example, not because they're my favorite team, but Gonzaga that loses to St. Mary's. You got to wonder when you come in there, they're like, man, we're kind of, already riding on maybe like the number 1, number 2 seed. St. Mary's, maybe they're right on the edge of even making, it into the tournament. Maybe there's a little more motivation for them and, not as much for Gonzaga. I don't know.
You got to also remember that St. Mary's and Gonzaga are rivals. So no matter what, St. Mary's gets up to play Gonzaga.
They always play them every year. They've upset them. That's how I know about St. Mary. I mean, I looked them up. I looked up the college there in California, the medical school and stuff, because even though they're an underdog, it's like I absolutely hated them because they, I felt like sabotaged us several times. But really, it's Gonzaga's fault for not playing up to, whatever their skill level is that year.
Have you followed the hype around Gonzaga's star player?
Not a whole lot. I really just kind of started watching just this last week, honestly. I've just listened to a little bit of headlines.
I'm going to butcher his name, but it's like some like Yuri Hachimoto, and he's Japanese descent, and he's a superstar in Japan right now. He is blowing up over there. By far the best basketball player to ever come from that bloodline, per se.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be huge. Go ahead.
Gonzaga recruits internationally all the time, though. They've had Australian players, European players, Canadians, John Stockton's kid.
Yeah, they did have John Stockton's kid was in there. John Stockton's kid played at Gonzaga Prep, and actually John Stockton would come to my high school, Walla High School, and just I thought it was really cool. He didn't ask to sit anywhere special. He would just sit in the stands with everybody else and just sit there and watch it. And if somebody came up to him, and was like, "Hey, John Stockton, can I have an autograph or shake his hand?" I mean, he was really cool with everyone.
I'd like the comment section to tell us who you're picking to win it. Tell us who you got to win it, and also give us your first round big upset pick.
Well, I got to give some attention. Lone Wolf says Gonzaga is going to be the second 1 seed in history to lose in the first round. Book it, NCAA. I'd like to argue with you on that, Lone Wolf. You might be trying to rile me up here, but if that was the idea, you did your job. I don't think so.
So the only team you're kind of up to date with is Gonzaga. Have you followed like Virginia at all, or Michigan State? Are you up to date with any of those?
I watched Virginia. I watched Virginia's last game, and then I just seen a little bit of highlights of Michigan State, and was listening to you talk about it. Honestly, like watching SportsCenter, I see more Zion than anything, just because everybody's so high on him right now.
It brings back memories to when LeBron James was in high school. Me and LeBron James graduated the same year. And I just remember watching high school games on primetime ESPN, just flabbergasted by the media attention that he gets. And Zion's getting a similar amount of attention. So he's got a lot to live up to.
Yeah, absolutely. He seems to be doing well with the pressure so far, but he's just in college. For those that don't know, the LeBron James's high school games used to be televised on pay-per-view. That's how exciting he was.
St. Mary's Prep, Akron, Ohio.
A few Gonzaga fans in here, a few Gonzaga haters. Master says, I'm telling you, Duke has a real good team, but there are better teams. Zion is already living it up to it, says Master. Yeah, I think there's a similar...
No matter what, Duke's going to be the... What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
No matter what, Duke's going to be the prime time to watch because everyone wants to see Zion. So I guarantee that they're going to be under so much pressure. It's going to be hard for them to... I see them making it to the Sweet 16, don't get me wrong, but Michigan State definitely would be my favorite to come out of that bracket.
Really, yeah. Maybe it's a good training for those guys going into the NBA, I guess. It makes me kind of think of, I mean, maybe they're not as good. I know a lot of people were talking about it towards the beginning, middle of the season. I do remember hearing some talk comparing that Duke team to the Fab Four team that had Chris Webber, I think Jalen Rose, so much talent on it that ended up coming up short in the championship.
Juwan Howard, Bernie King, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel bad. I felt bad even mentioning that, but there's so many moments that people are going to remember literally forever. And unfortunately, Chris Webber, I mean, he had a tremendous college career, tremendous NBA career, and you'll just continue to see highlights every year, video of him calling the timeout when they had none. And I feel horrible for him, but I mean, those images from this tournament, that just shows how important it is.
I'm going to throw out a couple more trivia if that's okay with you, Mike.
Yeah, go for it.
This mid-major team went on a run all the way to the Final Four, but came up short in the title game against Duke with missing a last-second shot to win. Name this team. Alan Dims, it is Butler. You are correct. You are on the board.
Oh, wow. A lot of people had that just a few seconds apart. They're all starting to come in here. 3, 4,
Right.
5. 7 people had that within seconds of each other. So good job, guys.
I have another question ready for you guys to go. And it's another blast from the past. Name the university that gave us Patrick Ewing.
This is another speed test, I think. I know this one.
They also gave us Allen Iverson. There's another hint. James Stahl.
Yeah, there he is.
Georgetown Hoyas. You're correct. You're also on the board now. I have a really difficult one. You guys are getting these way too fast for me. This player hit a game-winning shot playing for Valparaiso with his dad as the head coach. Name this player. I think this one might stump some people. Scott F. I gotta give it up to him. Bryce Drew. That's the correct answer. Playing for his dad, Homer Drew. One of the iconic shots. You'll see it before every tournament game starts. Bryce Drew hitting that game winner for Valparaiso and diving onto the ground in celebration. But Scott F. is pulling away. That's his third correct answer this night.
Scott is on it. He's got some sports knowledge. He's always right in there in the boxing and MMA trivia and tearing it up tonight in basketball.
I thought that one would stump, but I'm impressed because that was probably about 20 years ago.
Trying to see if I can find a bigger bracket here. Here we go. That's maybe a little better looking there. Yeah, so Tuesday, just 2 games. Like I said, maybe I have to call in sick on Thursday. Thursday's a shorter day for me, though. So,
what time do you usually get home on a Thursday?
Thursday, like 11 in the morning-ish. I know there's games starting at like 9?
They start at 10 your time. Or no, 9, you're right. So you would miss probably at least the first half of the first game, but that's not bad. There's 3 more games.
Yeah, no, that's not bad at all. I'm happy about that. That works.
And just a reminder, guys, Thursday and Friday, they'll have 4 games going simultaneously on CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV from morning to night. Games all day long, Thursday and Friday. It's a sports fan's Christmas, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite time of year. I mean, everybody knows I'm a big MMA fan. That's usually my biggest thing, but this is my favorite time of year for sports. Is this, and anybody that wants to follow me and talk basketball throughout the week, feel free to follow me at Twitter at Fights with Friends. It's going to say Mike on Mike at Fights with Friends, and just give me your thoughts. And I'll be sharing my thoughts during the week.
Throw up that bracket link again. We've had some new people come in since the last one.
All right. Yeah, that's what I was just getting up here. I got a bigger one, so.
And to sign up to play the tournament challenge with us is pretty easy. You just enter in your email address, your name, and then I believe your birth date. But it's 3 easy questions, and then if you follow this link and you sign up, you'll automatically be put in our group to compete with Mike, myself, hopefully Wyatt Matheson. Maybe we'll trick Dutch Guy into doing this, but our whole little family here with Fights with Friends.
Dutch guy said he was interested. I'm surprised, even though in like Amsterdam and stuff in other countries, how much they follow a lot of the same stuff over here from the U.S. So maybe March Madness doesn't just unite the United States. Maybe it unites the world.
Micah, they have released the entire bracket. Duke, Virginia, North Carolina, and Gonzaga are your number 1 seeds. Arizona State, St. John's, Temple, and Belmont were the last 4 at-larges to get in.
All right, there you go, guys. For some reason, I'm having a hard time getting it much bigger than that. Hopefully that is legible. I know it's not really big. Wait, that is
unfortunately,
not
Micah, NC State did not make it in.
Oh, that is not even the right year. My bad.
That's last year's.
Yeah.
Right.
People keep putting it up under 2019. Sorry about that,
You just
guys.
wanted to show everyone how UMBC beat Virginia, the 16 over the 1 last year.
Yeah, sorry about that. If you want to join the NCAA bracket challenge, though, did you put up a link for that?
No, I did not. I thought you were going to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me... This is actually just a link to the NCAA site, but it'll take you to the brackets. These are the guys that are doing the brackets that we're in, and it's just under Fights with Friends. When does this start again? They'll be starting playing on Tuesday. The television schedule should be coming out very soon. I'll definitely be streaming all through the week.
Did you see when Gonzaga's playing? Are they playing Thursday or Friday?
I haven't seen a television schedule yet. I wasn't sure if... oh, no, they did say it was... I believe they're playing Friday.
Because and I'm looking at it right here. Duke's on Friday. North Carolina's on Friday.
I could... Yeah. Oh, that's what happened. I had the right image up, but it didn't... Is that it? Okay. There it is.
The picks should open any minute to make your picks on there. And you have till Thursday tip-off of the first game. So you don't have to make the picks before Tuesday and Wednesday's games. It's Thursday's first game in the morning on Thursday. That's the deadline to make the picks.
All right. And young David, I got him to join in with us. So if anything, if he beats you guys, he's going to come in and talk so much smack because he doesn't even watch sports. So
I thought you were going to have your daughter do this with us. You want to learn basketball?
Yeah, she said she's going to come in some too. Hopefully she does a tournament. I know she's been wanting to learn more about basketball because she's going to be lead the band next year. She's like, Dad, I don't want to screw anything up and accidentally cost my team points by not being in the right place at the right time. So I have to learn.
That's cool. She's going to be the band leader, though. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she's the band major, swim president, just overachiever. I don't know where she got that from. But yeah, I'm very proud of her. There's hopefully a better looking bracket, and that's got some days on here too, is when each bracket and team is going to play.
Could you possibly just like zoom in on one bracket at a time and scroll through it?
Yeah, let me see what I can... Nice if I could find them all on the site. Maybe if I just log onto the site here, maybe it'll show us the brackets now. Log back in and see what we get.
If anyone wants to follow along with what I'm watching Bracketology on ESPN currently, and they're breaking down region by region as well.
Boom, there we go. Printable bracket from this site I'm going to right now, actually. Also, and I'll have the bracket of all the different brackets up here in just a second.
I'll throw out some trivia while we wait for you.
All right.
All right, refresh, everyone. Refresh. Right now we got Scott F. in the lead with about, I'd say, 80U right behind him. And since we're on a nostalgic trail here, name this player that played for North Carolina who is cousins with Tracy McGrady. Ramp the Ramper, Vince Sanity himself, Vince Carter, the Human Highlight Show. You are up to 2. You're chasing Scott F. We have a race now.
Wow, everybody's got him. That was quick. Good job, guys. Yeah, here is some brackets here. It shows the East bracket. Of course, number 1, Duke. Oh, and this still has to be announced. There's just very little as far as updated. This is from the actual NCAA site.
Duke's playing one of the playing games. That's why they don't have them there.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why it's to be announced, because it's a 324 game. That's right. Okay. And then VCU, number 8 versus number 9, UCF on the Eastern Conference. Mississippi State versus Liberty on your 12 and 5. Number 13, St. Louis against number 4, Virginia Tech. That's on the 22nd. And then Maryland will be playing to be announced there on the 21st. And there's those brackets. We'll go down to...
Maryland's playing the winner of Belmont Temple.
All right, thank you. We'll go down to the Midwest. And there you got your number 1 seeds, North Carolina and my Gonzaga. And a lot of interesting matchups there. As you talked about, I think Utah State and Washington, one to watch, but Syracuse and Baylor. I think some interesting matchups to watch. For sure. It'll be interesting as the television schedule comes out, who will be playing what time. Alan says, what upsets do you guys think will happen? Oh, you already said Murray State will upset.
I think Northeastern can give Kansas a go. That would be a huge upset.
Really?
Kansas has been struggling this year. Northeastern's got some shooters on their team.
That would be a big upset. And then you got your first...
Guys, huge upset. 5 and 12s. Always watch the 5-12 games.
Yeah, that is crazy that status came out, that the number 12 seed is won more often than the 5 seed. Is that what you were saying?
It's the most often upset of a lower seed over a higher seed, besides 8-9, of course. That's pretty much a toss-up.
Yeah.
But after that, the most common lower seed to win in the first round is the number 12 seed.
All right. What do you think about these games coming up here on the 19th? The outer brackets teams. It looks like they're going to all be on True TV.
Yeah. I got Belmont beating Temple. I've got Arizona State beating St. John's. I'm going with Fairleigh Dickinson on one. And what was the other one?
North Dakota.
I think North Carolina
versus,
Central.
Yeah, North Carolina Central.
Yeah, I'll go with North Dakota, actually. So North Dakota, Fairleigh Dickinson, Belmont, and Arizona State will be making the second round. It's weird how they make that the first round now. So technically Thursday and Friday is considered the second round. But in my heart, that's still, the first round.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the first round. I don't even think they should call that a round. It's call it, I don't know, an elimination or something. But
just why not call it what it is? Playing games.
Yeah, exactly. For you guys, if you want a printable bracket, some people, and I like to do this sometimes too, and just like print it out so you can look at it. Maybe some people like to fill it out by hand. Let me put a link for a printable bracket here.
You should try to bring up the ESPN bracket. It might be clearer.
All right, let me see what.
And don't look for a printable one. Look for just a viewable one.
Okay.
Sometimes the printable ones are lower because they want to use less printer ink.
That was just I just searched NCAA. That was my thinking on that one. But
Thanks for the donation, Neil. Mike definitely appreciates it.
oh yes, thank you very much, Neil, with the $2 donation. Says Billy's doing great. Mike, your gym as always. Thank you very much. And another donation, $1. Thank you. Appreciate that. What's up?
Don't forget to like the video, guys.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited about the turnout. I expected maybe there wouldn't be a big turnout because this is usually a fight channel, and we're expanding into more things. And so thank you very much for.
Gives us hope for the games on Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just want to have fun and you know, get a lot of people involved in it and have some good camaraderie.
Got another trivia question for you fine folks out there. Go ahead and hit that refresh button real fast. We've got Scott F. in the lead with Ramp the Ramper in second and about a 7-way tie for third. All right. Name the player that led Louisville to the national title as their star point guard. Under Rick Pitino. I guess I got to be more specific. This player was the point guard for Louisville's championship team. I think it was about 7 years ago. Wow, Scott F. You have to be kidding me. That was fast. You are correct, sir. Wow.
Scott F. on fire here tonight. Robert says, I'm here, Mike. I love basketball. Nice. Well, good to see you, Robert Christian. And Mario. Good to see a lot of the regulars and a lot of new people. So I brung in Billy Hughes. Thank you again for doing this, Billy, because he is much more well-versed in basketball than I am. I haven't followed it this year as closely as I have in last year's, but I just get very excited for this tournament because there's so much on the line for these kids. They just pour their heart out on literally every play. So, and there's hopefully a better bracket there. But like I said, everything will be starting March 21st. Here coming up to the supposed so-called first round, as we were talking about. Wait, I thought there was something on the 19th.
The 19th and...
Am I wrong? Oh, here it is on the bottom. Final Four. Oh, see,
yeah, the
here
19th,
on
20th
ESPN.
playing game.
Okay, here on ESPN, they are not calling the four teams on the outside the first round. They're calling March 21st and 22nd the first round. I think that's more accurate.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that much more. Scott F., I'm so impressed with your knowledge. I'd actually like to compete against you.
I like watching basketball conspiracy theories, says RJ Joel. Was obsessed during those years. Nice. All right. I hate to, but I'm going to take a real quick bathroom break. If you can take the room for me.
I got trivia, so I got you.
All right. Thanks.
All right, guys, go ahead and hit that refresh button. And let's see if anyone can beat Scott F. on this one. I got a couple more blasts from the past players on where they went for you. And let's hit that refresh button real fast. Get ready to go. What college university had a nickname in the 80s as Phi Slamma Jamma? Man, Scott F. Fast on it. You're correct. Houston, who also is a 3 seed this year. Phi Slamma Jamma, the infamous team that lost to Valvano's NC State team the number, I want to say, no, Villanova was the 11th seed when they beat Georgetown. But Scott, you are on fire. I have to try to stump you somehow. I think I might be able to do it with this next question. Before taking over as the Wizard at Duke, what university did Coach K start his coaching career at before coaching at Duke?
I know this one.
Scott F. got it again, Mike.
Man.
He is on fire.
Yeah, he is. Very fast. And Visible Skull is saying, why won't it let me pick yet? Are they waiting until...
They won't have the picks available until they get the times ready.
Will they wait for those games on the 19th and 20th, though? So we know
No, the picks will be ready within probably the next hour.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I know how hard it can be behind the scenes getting the up-to-date info, and I can just imagine what they're going through. I'm sure they have a huge team getting that together as quickly as they can. So, yeah, hopefully within the next hour. Yeah, I can't wait to make my picks. And also, if I didn't mention it on that link there, you can pick 2 teams on this one if you so choose. We have that option.
You're saying do 2 brackets.
Yeah, 2 brackets. Oh, sorry, I said 2 teams. That's incorrect. Yeah, 2 brackets.
All right, in the comments section, I want to hear who is the most overrated team in the tournament this year. And I know a lot of Duke people are going to come out, but think hard. Who is overrated?
James Thal says Gonzaga. Hi says Virginia. I might surprise you, even though they're my favorite team. I'm also going to say Gonzaga. I think, as much as I love them, I think they are often overrated for the conference that they play in. That's just being honest.
I'm going to pull up a bracket on here, and I'm going to walk you guys through each game on who I think would be the favorites. So let me just give me a second here, folks. Let me pull this up. Because I think we're at the point where we're going to have to focus on matchups now. The suspense on who's in is kind of passed by, so...
Yeah, definitely. Let's get some picks out there, get people's ideas of who they think's going to win, and... if you want to share stories of what college you went to, or just like your brother, or just, a favorite team that you had growing up and why, too, feel free to share that in the comments.
You just want to tell everyone how you love the Colorado Buffaloes, I'm fine with that as well. All right, guys, we're going to start with the East bracket, if that's okay with you, Mike.
Sounds good.
I'm going to go ahead and give me your thoughts on these as well. Real quickly, Duke will be playing the play-in winner. Obviously, Duke will take that one.
Give me 1 second. I got it. I got it right here. I'll bring it up on the screen so everybody can look at it. All right, and I got a good picture now. All right, here is the East to your left if you're watching on the screen. Go ahead.
Okay, so we've got Duke. Obviously, like I just said. So we'll move on to the 8-9 matchup. VCU and Central Florida. VCU was the Atlantic 10 champions in the regular season. UCF out of the American Conference. UCF has a center that I believe is 7'5", Mike. He is a tall drink of water. Very huge human being. And he's pretty dominant on the defensive end, and I think that's going to give VCU trouble. UCF also runs a zone defense, So I see UCF coming out of that matchup, which would set up UCF and Duke in the second round. Take a step down to the 5-12. These games will be in San Jose. 5th seed Mississippi State against the 12th seed Liberty. Although 12s are commonly beating 5s, I don't see it in this one. I've got Mississippi State winning that game handily. And then the 4-13 is Virginia Tech versus St. Louis. Virginia Tech out of the ACC, St. Louis out of the Atlantic 10. St. Louis was the 6th seed in the Atlantic 10, though, so they got hot at the right time and won their tournament. But Virginia Tech has their star guard, who's been out since January, coming back for the tournament. And so I think that's going to be just enough to get by St. Louis's shooters. I got Virginia Tech meeting Mississippi State in the second round. Moving to games in Jacksonville, Florida. Maryland playing the winner of Belmont-Temple. As I said earlier, I have Temple losing to Belmont. So we'll go with Maryland versus Belmont. And I still see Belmont upsetting Maryland. So I've got Belmont winning the playing game and winning over Maryland. And then you have the 3 seed, the dangerous LSU Tigers, out of the SEC against the Ivy League champions of Yale. LSU is under scrutiny right now. Their coach was caught on tape talking about paying out to get certain players, paying the family to get one of their current players. He is suspended. So LSU is going into the tournament without their head coach. Nonetheless, they still have massive talent, and they will easily get by Yale, setting up an LSU Belmont in the second round. Moving on to Des Moines, Iowa, the 7th seed, Louisville, against the Gophers of Minnesota. Louisville's been up and down. When they're on, but when they're off, they're way off. Minnesota, solid defense, coached by Richard Pitino, the son of Rick Pitino. I have the 10-seeded Gophers taking out Louisville. 2nd seed Spartans of Michigan State against Bradley out of the Missouri Valley Conference. Straight walk through here for Michigan State. I got Michigan State versus Minnesota in the second round. Should we go to... Which one should we go to next, Mike?
Can I ask just one question real quick, though? You have Belmont over Maryland. That's a pretty big upset. Why is that your pick?
Strictly on, I watched their tournament. They were the 1 seed. They lost to Murray State, the 2 seed with J.A. Morant. Temple barely got into the tournament, so I think they're not going to give them much of a go. But when they get to Maryland, Maryland just lost to Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament. Nebraska was 12-19 this season.
Oh, wow.
And so if Maryland can't compete with Nebraska, Belmont has tremendous senior leadership and a lot more talent than Nebraska. So if Maryland's one of those teams that is on a losing streak coming in. So that's why I have Belmont taking them out. And honestly, I think if Temple beats Belmont, Temple will beat Maryland. I don't see Maryland coming out of that at all. They're overseeded. I think they're more of an 8-9, to be honest with you.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for that assessment. Yeah, just as soon as you said that, it sparked an interest as to why you thought that. Let's go ahead and go to the South, Virginia and Gardner-Webb.
Virginia and Gardner-Webb. Virginia, the only 1 seed to ever lose to a 16. I don't think history strikes twice this year. I've got Virginia making it out of the first round. Hold for applause? All right. So then we moved. These games are in Columbia, South Carolina, by the way. The 8-9 matchup, Mississippi Rebels against the Oklahoma Sooners. Mississippi is a high-octane, fast-paced team, but so is Oklahoma. Oklahoma has so much talent that if they could get the talent to work together, they could have been a top 4 or 5 seed. But they don't share the ball well. They're leaky on defense. But nonetheless, I see Oklahoma beating Mississippi, setting up Virginia-Oklahoma in the next round. Moving on to the games in San Jose. 5 seed Wisconsin Badgers against the 12-seeded Ducks of Oregon. As Mike has been saying, Oregon's the hottest team in the Pac-12. They just won the Pac-12 tournament over Washington. won their way into the tournament. Wisconsin's got 4 seniors. They're all about defense. They've got length. Oregon's missing their best player. His name is Bol, Manute Bol's son, who got injured and decided just to stay out and wait for the draft. So without Oregon having any length to compete with Wisconsin, I have Wisconsin defeating Oregon. And then we move down to the 4-seed Kansas State Wildcats against the 13-seeded UC Irvine Anteaters out of the Big West. Kansas State is guard-led with 3 guards that come in rotation between the 1 and 2 spots against UC Irvine, who is led by a 5th-year transfer from Stanford. This is an upset alert, but I have Kansas State holding on to beat UC Irvine, setting up Wisconsin and Kansas State in the second round. Moving to the bottom half of the bracket, these games are in Hartford, Connecticut. 6-seeded Villanova Wildcats against the 11-seed St. Mary's Gales out of the West Coast Conference. Straightforward, Villanova won the tournament last year but lost all their stars to the draft. They were picked in the bottom of their conference this season, overcame it, overachieved, and won the regular season and postseason Big East tournament. But St. Mary's is battle-tested. They played a hard non-conference. They've played Gonzaga 3 times. They're coming off a win over Gonzaga. I got St. Mary's with the upset, taking out the defending champs in the first round. 3-seed Purdue, 14-seed Old Dominion. Purdue out of the Big Ten. Old Dominion from Conference USA. I got too much firepower on Purdue for Old Dominion to compete, so I have Purdue and St. Mary's in the second round. Moving on to games in Columbus, Ohio. 7-seed Cincinnati Bearcats against the 10-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes. I think Cincinnati's underseeded at 7. I think they're better than the 7-seed. Iowa barely squeaked in. They've lost to a lot of lower teams in their conference. With that, I think Cincinnati's got more talent and should blow them out. I don't see this being a close game at all. So I've got Cincinnati moving on. And then the 2-seed Tennessee against the 15-seed Colgate. Celebrate while you can, Colgate. Tennessee's going to beat you by 50. So I've got Cincinnati and Tennessee in the second round. Thoughts, Mike?
I agree with you on Oregon and Wisconsin. I've watched more Oregon than just about anybody. I did watch Virginia the other day. Obviously, that's kind of a nothing burger. I don't expect them to lose to a 16th seed twice. Tennessee, very dominant. And I do think St. Mary's, a lot of people are going to sleep on them. Like I said, I think a lot of people probably don't even know who they are. They could come out. St. Mary's, a lot of people remember when Gonzaga came onto the scene. I believe they went all the way to the Final Four, went out of obscurity. They were like the Cinderella's team. I want to say it was almost kind of seemed like they were America's team. I can see that being St. Mary's this year. I think they're very good, and if they go deep into this tournament, I could see them being the Cinderella story this year.
Knowing my luck, they're going to lose now that I put all this hype into them.
All right. Do we want to go to the Midwest bracket?
All right, Midwest. These games are in Columbus, Ohio. The 1-seed North Carolina Tar Heels against the 16-seeded Iona Gales. Be happy to be there, Iona. UNC senior-led. They got all the talent in the world. Walk City, North Carolina, the second round. The 8-9 matchup, Utah State Aggies out of the Mountain West Conference against the Washington Huskies, the regular season Pac-12 champions. Washington's all about their defense. They have the Defensive Player of the Year in their conference, who set the single-season record for steals. Utah State lives and dies on the three-pointers. So Washington should be able to null that power of the Utah State three-pointer. I have Washington beating Utah State, setting up Washington and North Carolina in a very intriguing second-round matchup. Moving on to games in Salt Lake City, Utah. the 5th-seeded Auburn Tigers against the 12th-seeded New Mexico State Aggies. Auburn just got done winning the SEC tournament, with New Mexico State winning the WAC tournament. New Mexico State plays a bunch of tomato cans in the WAC. It is the weakest conference by far. But that being said, New Mexico State does have talent. But with Auburn being in a strong SEC this season, I have Auburn defeating New Mexico State pretty handily. My upset alert is the next matchup, though. 4-seeded Kansas against 13-seeded Northeastern. Northeastern has length and three-point ability. And if Kansas doesn't want to compete, they'll get blown off the court. They have a lot of talent, but they don't play well together. I have Northeastern beating Kansas, setting up a matchup with Auburn in the second round. Moving on to the games in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 6-seeded Iowa State Cyclones against the 11th-seeded Ohio State Buckeyes. Iowa State just won the Big 12 Conference Tournament. Ohio State squeaked into the tournament, winning one game in their tournament. Iowa State was as high as number 12 this season. They went on a long losing streak, but in the last, I'd say, 3 weeks, they seem to have corrected course and are playing back to their potential. They have more talent. They have better firepower. So I have Iowa State beating Ohio State pretty handily. The 3 seed in that bracket is Houston against the 14-seeded Georgia State. Not much to say here. Houston has 3 elite guards with size. They should cruise past Georgia State, setting up Iowa State and Houston in the second round. Games in Jacksonville, Florida. 7-seeded Wofford against the 10-seeded Seton Hall. Wofford, by far, is going to be the Cinderella of this tournament. They have 4 seniors that can all shoot the 3 with a tall big man who can plug the lane. Seton Hall just lost to Villanova in the finals of the Big East tournament. They're an undersized team that likes to play with pace. That being said, I have Wofford narrowly beating Seton Hall, moving to the second round. Then you have the 2-seeded Kentucky Wildcats against the 15-seed Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian's first tournament chance is going to be a short one. I got Kentucky blowing them out within the first 5 minutes, going up by double digits, setting up Kentucky and Wofford in the second round. Thoughts, Mike?
Thoughts on that? I'm with you in line on most of these. I think Washington beats Utah State pretty handily. Honestly, I mean, North Carolina, I mean, they're a great team. I don't see them getting upset anytime soon. I think I do have a disagreement, even though your knowledge might be a little more extensive. I think Kansas gets it together. I think a leader, or if not 2, emerges out of that team for some team ball, and the coaching staff gets around that. I think they get through Northeastern. I'm not sure how far they go after that, but I think they at least get through this round, and I think probably the next. And then Seton Hall versus Wofford. Wofford, as you're saying, they are on a hot streak. I do think they get this one, and I think Kentucky. I think Kentucky could go pretty deep in this one. I really think that they could challenge for this bracket, and if I was going to choose team for team, I'd actually pick them to win the bracket over North Carolina.
So after I do this last one, I'll skip to my final 4 picks, just because I don't want to give you guys all my answers. So I want to win, you know. But I will break down this last first round matchups.
All right, Western Conference.
We're going to the West. Mike's neck of the woods. Gonzaga. These games will be in Salt Lake City, Utah. Gonzaga playing against. I don't have it on here. Not that it's going to matter, but who are the 2 teams?
It's FDU versus PVAMU.
Okay, so that's Fairleigh Dickinson versus Prairie View A&M. I got Fairleigh Dickinson winning that, but nonetheless, Gonzaga is going to have an easy first-round matchup. I got Gonzaga winning that. I love this next game. 8-seeded Syracuse Orangemen, 9-seeded Baylor Bears. Baylor's long and athletic. Syracuse is tough-nosed. They play that historic zone that Jim Boeheim has always coached. They're led by the coach's son, Buddy Boeheim, who can shoot the lights out. I have this fast-paced. I have it one of the best games to watch in the round. Nonetheless, I have Syracuse defeating Baylor, setting up a Gonzaga-Syracuse matchup in the second round. Moving on to Hartford, Connecticut. 5th-seeded Marquette Eagles against the Murray State Racers, the 12th seed. Upset alert. J.A. Morant, the star on Murray State, is a top 3 NBA draft pick, and he can carry the team. He can score 40 without even breaking a sweat. Marquette's been up and down. They've been up in the top 10 this year, but they've lost 7 of their last 10 games, including losing to Seton Hall in the semifinals of the Big East Tournament. I got my upset here. Murray State will defeat Marquette handily. The 4th seed, Florida State Seminoles against the 13th seed, Vermont. There could be an upset here. Vermont's got 5 starting seniors, but Florida State's so athletic. I think it'll be a close first half, and Florida State will pull away in the second half, setting up a Murray State-Florida State second-round game, which is going to be one to watch. Talent all over the floor there. Moving on to Tulsa, Oklahoma, the 6th-seeded Buffalo, and this would be Arizona State, St. John's, correct, Mike?
Yes.
So I have Arizona State beating St. John's, so this would be Buffalo, Arizona State. I don't think it matters. Buffalo has talent. They've been to the tournament the last 3 years. I think I'm beating either team handily, so I got Buffalo moving on. The 3-seed Texas Tech Red Raiders against the 14th seed Northern Kentucky. Not much here. Texas Tech focuses on defense. I think they're going to nullify anything Northern Kentucky has to bring. So I have Texas Tech and Buffalo in the second round. And finally, Des Moines, Iowa. The 7th seed, Nevada, against the 10th-seeded Florida. Nevada's another team that's been ranked. Nevada was in the top 5 before the new year hit. They've stumbled in conference. They lost in the semifinals to San Diego State a couple nights ago. And Florida was out of the tournament until winning 2 games this week. They beat LSU to get into the tournament. Nevada has a top 10 draft pick. I can't remember the kid's name off the top of my head, but I think he's going to lead Nevada over Florida. So I have Nevada beating Florida in a very close game. And then you have the Michigan Wolverines against the 15th seed Montana. Michigan's got star power. They could have been a 1 seed if they didn't stumble. I got Michigan winning handily, setting up Michigan and Nevada in the second round. All right, Mike, what do you think about that bracket?
I don't think we differ a whole lot on that. Like I said, you said Syracuse, Baylor. I expect that to be an absolute battle. Of course, they should play the winner of Gonzaga. I don't see, either one of those teams giving Gonzaga any problem there. I do see Marquette. You picked Murray State over Marquette?
I did.
That's what I thought. I actually have Marquette winning this one. So we do have one difference there. Florida State over Vermont. Buffalo the same. Texas Tech, Nevada. So all of the rest of our picks the same. Number 2, Michigan. I think the winner of this that comes out of this is going to be one of those top 2 seeds. I think Michigan and Gonzaga are just... I think they're a lot better than everybody else.
Before me and Mike give you our preliminary Final Four picks, let's go to the chat and see who you guys have in your Final Four, just off the top of your head. Give Mike time to come up with a Final Four too.
Yeah, I've seen some questions coming in. People are saying that odds are already coming out. Scott says Colgate 17. They put Colgate 17.5-point underdogs. That maybe that should be more.
Yeah. I would love to see the betting line on Syracuse Baylor. I think that might be the toughest game to pick. They're so evenly matched.
Yeah, that's got to be very close. I can't imagine how much money is bet during this week. I mean, I know the Super Bowl is the biggest day of the year, but this is just so many so many games, and a lot of people, the alumni that have went to this college, maybe their family went there for generations.
Yeah. All right, looks like no one wants to put their Final Four out. Pressure's on me. All right, my top of the head Final Four. We'll start in the West. I think it's going to come down to Michigan and Gonzaga. As long as Gonzaga can get through, I think Gonzaga's toughest matchup is going to be Florida State to get through. And I have Michigan coming out of the West over Gonzaga. In the Midwest, I'll have Kentucky and North Carolina. I'll go with North Carolina in that one. In the South, I have Tennessee coming out of that bracket. And thinking about it for a minute here, I believe in the Zion Williamson. I believe in him. So I've got Duke, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Michigan as my preliminary Final Four. Don't put that in stone. That's just my original thoughts for this moment.
Mine are close coming out of this. I think Duke is I just think they're a way better team than anybody else in that bracket. And surprisingly, I'm not copying you, honestly. I also have number 2 Tennessee there, though. In the West, I have Gonzaga, maybe a little bit of bias there, and actually have coming down to North Carolina and Kentucky in the Midwest, but I think Kentucky pulls it out.
Okay, I can see that very easily, too. I just think North Carolina has too much experience that if it's a close game, North Carolina will be able to edge Kentucky out. But I do see North Carolina and Kentucky matching up. I don't see anyone breaking up that matchup. That's a dream matchup. UNC and Kentucky, 2 blue bloods of college basketball.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game. Robert Christian's got his in. He says Texas Tech, North Carolina, Duke, and Virginia. Thank you, Robert.
Just a quick question, Robert, in the text. Texas Tech, can you defend that to me, please? Because you got Texas Tech coming out of the Gonzaga, Michigan region, if I'm correct.
Yes, they are the number 3 seed. You got Gonzaga 1, Michigan 2, and Texas Tech 3. And then James Stahl also has his picks in. He's got MSU, Michigan, UNC, and Tennessee.
Yeah, I flip-flopped. I thought Michigan State, and then I thought about it. Then I went back to Duke. That's going to be hard for me to decide because I think your national champion is coming out of that particular bracket. If Duke makes it, they're going to win it all. If Michigan State makes it, Michigan State's going to win it all. That's what I'm feeling right now.
And I think that the odds are going to be with you on that when they make the odds brackets on that. That whoever comes out of that definitely would be the favorite.
I have a fun question for everyone. 10 seed to 16 seed. So anyone that's a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, or 16. Pick one team that's ranked that low that can make a run to the Final Four, a la a VCU, a Butler, a Villanova in the 80s. A double-digit seed that can make a run to the Final Four. Who do you guys think that this year's Cinderella could be? That's open to you too, Mike.
Well, I think double digits. That's an easy one for me. That's St. Mary. Playing, although they could easily lose in their first game against Villanova, a number 6 seed, but I don't think they will. Crawford says St. Mary's also. He says Murray State.
After looking through it, I like St. Mary's. I like Murray State. I don't have this team winning in the first round, but we've talked about them all night. It's a 12 seed. I think Oregon could do it.
That's my other. That would be my other team that I was just looking at too, and coincidentally, both out of the same bracket.
But Oregon's got a tough first round matchup. I think if they beat, I think they're playing Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if they beat Wisconsin, the momentum they're already on, if they can take out one of the top 4 teams from the Big Ten, I think it could just start like an avalanche. And Oregon could just roll because they're super motivated. They had to fight for their lives just to get in this. And when you have that kind of pressure on them for the last month straight, I think they can take that momentum and go with it. So I could see them doing it. I could also see St. Mary's, Murray State, and another team I have losing in the first round, but they could correct it just because of the talent they have, is the 10-seeded Florida Gators.
Playing number 7 Nevada. All right, yeah, that's as you said. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for them, but yeah, they could definitely beat some of these other teams. I think they get out of that. Robert Christian says, I believe we're we're best defensive team in the bracket, and with that Jarrett Culver, we can upset Michigan and Gonzaga. So he's justifying his pick there. Yes, him too. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good argument. I like it. I just am apprehensive about Texas Tech because they couldn't make it out of the Big 12 tournament, and I had them favored to win that tournament, and they stumbled. So I think they cost themselves a number 2 seed losing as early as they did. But that could also be motivation for them. So, yeah, I can see Texas Tech making a run, but Michigan and Gonzaga have so much talent. It's going to be tough to get past both those teams.
Yeah, I agree. Tortoise says, could be St. Mary's, watch for Florida too, but I think Oregon is red hot. Yeah, Oregon, they were just playing like a team possessed in that tournament. Like they really had a chip on their shoulder. So, yeah, that's going to be 2 fun teams to watch, St. Mary's and Oregon. It's kind of like we both said the same thing in the same conference, though. But, I mean, they could definitely play well above, what they're seeded.
I'm checking on when they're going to announce the times of the games.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. People that are looking to watch along, TBS, I think this is always the same 4 networks, TBS, TNT, CBS, and True TV will be showing the games. In the past, several years, I think even last year, you were able to watch all of the games on the NCAA app on your phone. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year.
It is. They have it again.
All right, so there you go. If you don't have cable on your phone or maybe a tablet, you can watch them online. Probably not PC, though, I imagine. I'm not sure about that, but I know the app.
No, you can watch them on PC. You just go to NCAA, I want to believe, tournamentwatch.com or something like that. And
right.
You do have to pay for it, though, Mike. You got to tell them that you have to pay for that service.
Okay, so you do have to pay for that. So I hadn't signed up for in the past, so I didn't know how much it was. I had the game, so thanks for...
It's not very expensive. I want to say it's like $15.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
You get everything from the first games to the title game, and I think the title is April 6th, April 7th.
Yeah, I think it's it was weird. I seen that they had posted for April 6th and April 8th, so on CBS. So I don't know what the deal is with that. That if they're not sure, or
it's a Monday night. So whichever one of those 2 dates is on a Monday, that's the date.
Oh, okay. Then that Monday's the 8th. So there you go. So maybe it was the semifinals on the 6th.
I'm going to NCAA.com. They say they have some times. I know they have to announce the times for the playing games first and get the travel arrangements for those 8 teams done before they can announce the times. But I do have the answer for the national championship game is April 8th, Monday, April 8th. The 2 Final Four games are Saturday, April 6th. So that's where you're getting that.
Okay. Yeah, I started thinking about that after I said it. Yeah, we'll definitely definitely be doing those ones. I don't know what the UFC event is on that day, but UFC might get bumped 1 week. Sorry, fight fans, but there you go. I mean, we end up as fight fans paying what, $60, $75 if you end up getting a pay-per-view. So if you're a cord cutter and you don't have cable, $15, and you can watch the entire tournament. It's like a month, and that's an amazing deal in my mind. That seems like a no-brainer.
According to sorry guys. Pop-up ads. According to the NCAA website, you can make your picks now.
All right.
We should throw that link up. And is that me?
It's the NCAA site.
When I was checking on the times, they said make your picks now. And it was the website that we're running these picks on. So that's why I said throw that link up for everyone.
All right, so here we go. And
maybe talk about.
If you're watching on the display capture, you can actually see my team here. It says Fights with Friends. You got 2 members. There's Billy's year to win. So those are your targets, but the name of the bracket is just Fights with Friends, lowercase, 1 word. And it's going to be, I'll throw this link up right here, but it's bracketchallenge.ncaa.com, and I'll put it up there in the chat.
Do you know how to put links in the description when you put this video for people that watch this later?
Yes, I do. That's a good idea. I'll go back and fix that. Actually, I'll put it in the comments, and I'll pin it to the first comment, because when you make changes to a video or even a live thing after you've posted it, YouTube they basically freeze your video from being promoted with any progress for 48 hours until they have a chance to reevaluate why you changed it. But
did not know that.
Yeah, I'll put it in the first comment though. Yeah, YouTube's a weird cat. I'm learning more and more as you go, but I think I pretty much I thought I had decided that they weren't promoting my channel, but I mean people found this, so maybe they're not promoting fights.
I would put the link in the community part of the channel too. You know, on the YouTube part where it says community.
That's a good idea, and I think I can change the banner of the channel to March Madness throughout the tournament. That way people know to come through it, because as much as I love fights, I think this is obviously a much bigger crowd.
I think people are going to want to do this. So, Dutch guy, my brother.
What's
Hello,
up?
friend. Dutch guy Mike joined the MMA Playground team, by the way. He was accepted into our fight camp.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot to do my picks. I had so many things in my mind, and then as soon as I seen you come in the chat, I'm like, damn, I forgot to do my picks.
Yeah, I sent Dutch guy the invite so many times, it told me I can't do it no more. So, finally he got to him, though.
Maybe it's a time difference thing.
Has Wyatt sent you his username yet?
Not unless it started. He has since we started here on this. I don't have it yet, so I'll shoot him out an email. Did he sign up for?
He said last night that he was going to do it after the stream last night. So I don't know if he got around to it or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully we'll all be able to get our picks in for that. I know there's some new NCAA. Well, it looks like 26. It looks like it's mostly our regulars that are in here. Some college people and a lot of people that are also into MMA.
We're up past 100 originally, so I think there's going to be people that are going to watch these games with us. I'm super stoked about that.
Yeah, I definitely am too. And you know more about the basketball, so you can get the knowledge part of it. And for those of you guys that like to see me scream like an idiot and have those dramatic reactions, there's a ton of them in this tournament. So,
with just the regulars being on here, I think we can switch it to a little bit of MMA talk real quick. I don't know if you've seen the MMA Junkie updates, but some stuff's going down.
I have not. I keep forgetting. I need to download their app because I usually have the SureDog. I see 3 bouts confirmed for UFC Rochester, and some things came out about Tony Ferguson. I want to take a second to stop and talk about this and clarify some things. So his wife is not accusing him of any physical abuse or anything. It's strictly some mental things that he is dealing with personally, and it's very public. It's very drawn out in what the things were. I think I will just actually read it. So I'm going to read this on SureDog. It says, Tony Ferguson has released a statement in light of recent events that led to his wife filing a restraining order against him. He says, thank you for all the great support on Instagram. I'm in great spirits. UFC and management are helping me find the help we need. I'm getting all of your messages. Keep them coming. So if you're on Twitter, tweet something to Tony Ferguson and let him know that you're thinking about him and his family. It says, lots of my love, social media family. Keep the faith. Couldn't do this shit without you. And then I'm going to go down to what his wife was saying. This is a direct statement. It says, Tony Ferguson is a good husband and good father to our son. The current legal proceedings are a part of a process to ensure that Tony will receive the help necessary. And this just scrolled on me. Sorry about that. I hate this when I'm on my phone. Are a part of a process to ensure that Tony receive the help necessary to continue being the best possible, as well as to pursue his passion and career as a UFC champion. So she has said that, and here's incident reports. And this is already being reported, so I'm not bashing Ferguson. It says, incident reports describe Ferguson's unusual behavior, including mention of him and his wife getting into arguments, Ferguson's father asking him to leave his house, Ferguson staying up for days at a time and smashing their fireplace, claiming there was a microchip implanted in his leg, and a man living in his walls, and splashing his wife with holy water. So as I've mentioned in the past, I have a dear family member and very close friend that's been dealing with onset schizophrenia that just kind of appeared in the last year. I'm not saying that's what Tony's going through, but it sounds like a lot of the things that I'm hearing from this very good friend that's always been, a very peaceful person, still is a very peaceful person, but as you know, his brain's playing some tricks on him right now. It's a sad thing.
Yeah, there's nothing good that we can say besides our prayers and best wishes to him and his family.
Yes, and that's why I'm so hesitant about speaking. People seeing that there was a restraining order. I had things in the comments saying, if you called out, so and so, then you need to call out Tony Ferguson and say things like that. I like to speculate on fights coming up, styles, different things like that. When you're talking about the personal life, you're basically going to hear me reading it from direct quotes or from somebody else's site and tell you that's their opinion, not my opinion. They have, a lot more access to that kind of information than I do, and I would hate to get something wrong and, say something bad about somebody that wasn't true.
Right. Did you see the pictures of Leon Edwards after Masvidal tuned him up?
No, I didn't. Was he pretty cut up?
He sliced him open. He hit him with 3 fast, straight rights and lefts.
Wow, that is crazy. I hope that doesn't affect his career. It was interesting. You can't lose your temper like that, though. I mean, no matter what's going on, I think you got to keep it together.
Could affect his Askren fight, though. He might have to fight Leon now.
Yeah, it definitely could. Since he sat there and attacked him, I seen he called for a title shot, and it's like I love Jorge Masvidal, and I love him more after this week. To call for a title shot after you just lost 2 fights in a row and you're on a 1-fight winning streak, I thought that was pretty preposterous. But maybe it was just, you know, he was excited in the moment, won so emphatically. Probably, I mean, it's not going to hurt his stock, so I guess why not?
I got a quick basketball update for you, Mike. They have not announced the times yet, but Gonzaga will be playing in Salt Lake City. They will be the last teams to start. So even if they are the first game in that city on Friday, the earliest they would start would be 11:45 Pacific.
Oh, but it's on Friday?
Thursday or Friday. I'm sorry, I didn't check the date.
Oh, Thursday. Okay, I'm hoping they're on Thursday. Yeah, Friday's usually a long day for me. But
I just saw that the Salt Lake City ones, that they're going to be the late start. So San Jose and Salt Lake City will be late starts.
Nice. And
San Jose's on Friday, so Salt Lake City's Thursday.
Well, I can kind of work things around when I need to. I tried to take that week off, but apparently I guess they gave me the next week. Dutch guy says, Mike, are you crazy? This is a drug issue, brother. Several kind of drugs are known to make you paranoid. Well, I mean, there's schizophrenic drugs, and I don't want to speculate on this too much, but schizophrenic drugs that can cause the onset schizophrenia, like I talked about before, definitely could be drugs. I'm obviously far from an expert on the situation. I just know the situation that I'm going through right now with a family member, and yeah, that's one of the things that can onset it. Also, I don't know if it's proven scientifically, but there's a lot of, you know, people that are a lot smarter than I am that believe CTE can onset underlying schizophrenia as well.
Are you going to talk about the next fight card? Is that what we're looking at?
Yes, talking about the next fight card. This is next Saturday. It's going to start
and a beautiful picture of me.
5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have to look through the NCAA card, though, and possibly some updates back and forth. But Stephen Thompson versus Anthony Pettis. Most of us that are in the end have said this seems like a very strange matchup for Pettis to coming up. He's always dangerous, but this is Thompson's wheelhouse. I'm really surprised. I mean, that just shows, I guess, how deep the division is. He's ranked at number 4. I mean, I thought he beat Darren Till. He went, you know, basically to a draw with Tyron Woodley twice. A lot of people thought he won at least one of those fights. Curtis Blades coming back against Justin Willis. That's a very interesting matchup. Willis with a lot of power in there. Curtis Blades looking to come back. I think he does out-wrestle Willis. I think he can stand with him as well. And maybe not as strong as carved as last week. So if there's nothing big in the previews, we got Marlon Vera coming back. He's taking on Frankie Sainz. What's that?
You're skipping McDessie and Pinedo. I think that could be fight of the night. I love watching McDessie fight.
Oh, yes, thank you, yeah. Jesus Pinedo versus John McDessie at lightweight. I did skip by that one. Skipping over my words right now. Yeah, that's another good one. So, top 3, again.
Well, just another one, too. Jussier Formiga is the number 1 flyweight contender in the world right now.
Going against the number 4. Yeah, so could be 5 deep, actually, on this one. Who knows how longer we're going to see flyweight stick around for, but a lot of these guys, as they're moving up to bantamweight, a lot of implications there too. Hopefully that division sticks around, but I don't know what's going on anymore. I think eventually they'll probably get rid of it. But
aren't they just using up all their fights on their contracts? Isn't that what people say they're doing?
Well, here's the thing that's been happening is as soon as a fighter loses, they've been cut. Pretty much everybody. And that really, seems to be a telltale sign. Because something I learned recently on the UFC contracts is obviously we know it's not a two-way street. The fighter cannot, just cancel the contract and go fight for another promotion. We see fighters being cut all the time. They do actually have to lose to be cut from the contract. Outside of any
I see that being dynamite right there.
Oh, what's that?
That Mega fight, I think it's gonna be dynamite. 2 top 5 fighters, and don't sleep on that female fight right there, Macy Barber and JJ Aldrich. Don't forget about those two. There's a reason they got put on the main card.
Well, and that is a deep division. The flyweights right now in the women's, probably maybe one of the deepest divisions. I don't know why it has Macy Barber at 125. They're fighting at 115.
In the Luis Pena fight, and then he's fighting Steven Peterson. Now, Luis Pena, is he on Ultimate Fighter alum or?
Yeah, he's the Ultimate Fighter alum, and I expected a lot more out of him. He looked like a very creative striker. On there, he was pretty disappointing in his last bout. And this UFC site, for some reason, the name is getting away from me. Who he lost to, and this new site absolutely sucks. I should probably be on SureDog.
I had a quick question for you, too. I know you've been stepping out and getting Randy Couture, and congrats on that interview. I have a good friend. He's a former fighter, and Dutch guy might remember this man. He's Thomas the Wildman Denny. He fought in the Elite XC. He actually fought Nick Diaz at one point. So yeah. I can get you guys connected. He's one of the top coaches out here in Colorado right now.
Oh, really? Yeah. That would definitely be cool to get him on there. Yeah, I remember the name, and I remember Elite XC. I don't, I can't picture him right offhand. There's so many names, but yeah, I definitely remember the name. That would be cool. And hopefully people.
Yeah, once he fought Nick Diaz, that was kind of like his highlight. He went strictly to coaching after he fought Nick.
Well, it would be interesting to have a coach on here and talk to him to get a different perspective and have different questions for them as well.
Yeah, he was in the Czech Republic yesterday, cornering Jeremy Kimball when he fought.
Very cool. Yeah, that would be good. I definitely have a lot of questions for him. Hopefully everybody enjoyed having Matt Horwich on during the prelims. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that he wasn't able to watch the fight as we were starting to do the fight reactions. So he just kind of kept going with the stories, but I was definitely enjoying them.
What's up, Pulse Reloaded?
Yeah, he says, orange for the win. Got a Syracuse fan. Yep, Pulse in the house.
I think he's talking about Luis Pena, actually.
What's that?
I think Pulse was talking about Luis Pena.
For the orange for the win. Yeah. I got this basketball on my mind. I had to switch everything over to basketball, which, it takes a lot of brain link from me since my mind's usually on mixed martial arts. But I'm going to try.
Robert Christensen, yes, I am in Colorado. I'm in Loveland, Colorado.
I'm going to try to get this up on SureDog so we can actually...
They don't even have their records on the UFC one.
See people's records. Yeah, that's such an embarrassment. I cannot believe that their site sucks as bad as they do. It's pretty sad. Luis Pena. It was just bugging me that I couldn't remember who he fought last. It was Michael Trezano. Okay, split decision. I thought he had fought since then. I think I was mixing him up with Richie Smolin, who was also on that season. but actually fought in Bellator and didn't look very good. Yeah, he lost in the finals. To the finalists, the UFC Fight Night 139. He wasn't able to finish that season because of an injury. But he is a creative striker for sure.
Robert Christensen, I have no idea what you're talking about. Wink, wink.
You know me too good, I'm busted, says Dutch guy. Dutch guy said he knew that guy you were talking about too, if you didn't see that.
Yeah, he's pretty renowned around here. He was the head coach for Brian Baker, the Beast. He fought for the title in Bellator in middleweight.
Okay, yeah, I remember Brian Baker. I remember that name, yeah.
And he also was the coach for Bad Intentions Marcus Edwards, who is one of the top contenders in LFA right now, and fought on the Tuesday Night Contender show.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember him. So, yeah, that's getting deep. As far as those outer shows, like the LFA and stuff, I don't know a lot of those guys. I've watched a few of their events, or just like highlights of them, because I seen that they were basically starting to become the recruiting grounds for the UFC.
It's one of the big shows that always come to Colorado is LFA.
Oh, that's awesome. That would be very
cool. They promote
cool.
a lot of local fighters.
Nice. Did they have is this actually right? I didn't see Alexis Davis coming back on this one versus Jennifer Maia on the UFC site. Maybe I skipped over that.
No, Alexis Davis is on it because I made that pick on MMA Playground.
Okay, return of Alexis Davis then. She's coming off a tough
Child,
loss to Chicago, but facing Jennifer Maia, that could be an exciting fight.
Do you see the main event going the distance, or do you see Thompson just having his way with Pettis, which is what I see?
I see him having his way with Pettis. I don't remember Pettis ever coming in with a conservative game plan, to be honest. I can't think of a fight. It seems like he always comes forward very aggressively, and I think even if he lands some shots, he's going to hit harder, and he's going to walk into something big. But of course, I thought the same thing with Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal, though. So Stephen Thompson probably in a little better place mentally than Darren Till right now, as Dutch guy was talking about on the video on his channel, though.
All right, Mike, I'm going to let you run the show from here on out, let you do your thing. And I'm looking forward to joining you on Thursday for the madness.
All right, yeah, definitely. Sounds great. We'll get that. Actually, Tuesdays are the first games, right? The elimination games?
Yeah, if you want to do Tuesday, I've got all the time in the world. I took the week off, so.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, I thought you were all right. Sounds good. So, yeah, we'll definitely get on and do something Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Basically the whole week. If nobody else has got anything else, I think I'm going to wrap it up too. Sunday's usually
all right, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for this great event. Thanks again, Billy, for tuning into this. That was very helpful. I could not have done that intelligently by myself. I just haven't followed basketball enough this year, so I was really appreciative of his help. And I'm glad we have something else to have on here. What's next for Leon Edwards? Before he left, Leon Edwards, he may be fighting Jorge Masvidal. So we'll see. That's my best bet on that. I don't see how he's fighting for a championship. I think they kind of built their own promo there, so that would be my bet. Dutch guy says a black eye and some bruises for now. And I got to imagine Leon Edwards definitely wants a piece of Jorge Masvidal right now. You get Jorge Masvidal with some beef behind him for a promo. I see that fight selling very well too. Possibly even a main card on one of the ESPN Plus cards. But I'll see you guys again real soon. Like I said, thanks for tuning in for what started out as basketball. We got to talk a little bit of MMA there at the end. Billy helped me struggle through that NCAA as I'll be studying basketball this week and trying to get up to date, and just a ton of streaming next week starting Tuesday. As soon as the television schedules come out, I'll update everybody. Make sure and get your brackets in at ncaa.com /brackets. It is available right now. I am the moderator. It says Fights with Friends. You already see Billy for the win. His team is in there, so make sure and sign up for that. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.